Am I the asshole for telling my dad I don't want him to marry his girlfriend? Honestly, this is embarrassing, so I am using a throwaway. My parents, both 46, got divorced 6 years ago. My mom remarried 3 years ago, and my dad has had a few girlfriends. His current girlfriend is the only one he has ever brought around. My mom has met her and likes her, and my sister idolizes her. She's nice and I don't dislike her. The actual problem: she's 27, exactly 10 years older than me. To me, it's so weird. I don't understand why my dad wants to date someone so much younger than him. When he asked my sister and I if we were okay with him asking her to marry him, my sister was excited. I wasn't. I told him I wasn't comfortable with the age gap and thought she was just a sugar baby. Dad explained she has her own career, but said okay. Since that conversation, my dad has been really sad, and the atmosphere in his house has changed. His girlfriend hasn't been by as frequently either. I feel kind of bad because I want my dad to be happy. Aida? Edit. This blew up bigger than I expected it to and found its way to my dad. Now he wants to have a talk this weekend. You're the asshole. It's one thing to not be a fan of the ages. It's another to effectively call her a sex worker. Offensive to both her and your father. You're the asshole for calling her a sugar baby if she's not. Frankly, her age shouldn't be your problem. She's been an adult for nearly a decade. How long have they been dating? You said she seems nice enough and the only real concern you have is the age gap. While that's a valid concern, age gap relationships can be normal, healthy relationships. Talk to your dad and see if perhaps you could try getting to know her better before any permanent decisions are made. Not the asshole. I would be objecting too if my dad was dating someone nearly 20 years younger than him as well. Not the asshole. He asked your opinion and that's it. It sucks it wasn't what he was expecting. For everyone saying YTA. He asked her opinion. She gave it. She's been staying out of it, but she is just as entitled to her opinion as anyone else, and if he doesn't want to hear it, then he shouldn't ask. She's 17, as a mom of teens and someone who has been driving school buses full of teens for well over a decade. Teens aren't exactly Captain Stoic. He knew good and well something was wrong. He should have asked earlier if he was worried about it or waited another year or two until she was legally an adult so she doesn't have to live in it. Once she moves out, it's a lot easier to ignore, but having an opinion doesn't make her selfish, it makes her human. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for not letting my boyfriend bring his dog to live with us even though I'm pregnant? Hi everyone, throwaway because my boyfriend knows my main. 27F. Live with my boyfriend, 29M, of 2 years. We moved in together about 6 months ago, and overall things have been good, until now. He has a 6-year-old German Shepherd named Max. Max has been living with his parents in another city because our old apartment didn't allow big dogs. We just moved to a new place that does allow pets, and now my boyfriend wants Max to come live with us. Here's the thing. I'm pregnant. 15 weeks. This wasn't exactly planned, but we're moving forward with it and trying to adjust. That's part of why I'm feeling so anxious about this dog situation. Max is not a bad dog, but he's a lot. Super high energy, very reactive, barks constantly, and doesn't listen to me at all. Every time I visited him at my boyfriend's parents' place, Max has jumped on me, scratched me, nearly knocked me over. He once smashed a glass side table trying to chase something through the window. My boyfriend just laughs it off like, he's just excitable, or, he'll settle once he's here, but I'm not convinced. I told him I'm not okay with Max moving in right now. I feel vulnerable and stressed, and honestly scared the dog could hurt me by accident. I've asked if we can look into training or a gradual transition, but he says I'm being overdramatic and just don't like Max. Now he's sulking and acting like I'm asking him to give the dog away forever. I'm not. I just don't want to bring a hyper dog into the mix while I'm pregnant and already overwhelmed. I'm trying to think about the baby's safety, too. He says I'm being selfish and controlling, and that this dog is like family to him. My friends are split. Some agree with me. Others say I knew about the dog from the beginning and I'm being unfair. So, am I the asshole for saying no to the dog moving in right now while I'm pregnant? If Max is ever going to move in with you, now is the time. The risk of Max hurting the baby is very low even if he knocks you over for the next 12 weeks. You have a narrow window to get Max to respect, listen to you. After that you and the baby are more vulnerable and a baby or toddler is even worse. If you try for the next few months and Max doesn't improve, you need to have an upfront agreement that he has to go or you do. He can't blame you if you gave it a shot. Info. Prior to this, what were the conversations like about Max? Did you agree that he would eventually come live with you guys, or was it a consistent, we'll see? That being said, the dog should be trained regardless not to jump and accidentally scratch. He's not doing Max any favors by letting him act unpredictably excitable. Not the asshole. It's obviously not Max's fault that he seems to be very untrained, and I'm glad that you definitely seem to understand that. But you should tell your boyfriend that if he wants Max to live with you, especially since you're pregnant and Max is a big dog that could cause harm even when not meaning to, he needs some proper training. And it needs to be made clear that he cannot live with you until big improvements are made. I also think it should be made clear that Max is your boyfriend's responsibility. Even though I'm sure you'd be happy to give him pets and love once he's trained and calmer. Honestly, Ash, I don't think it's okay to separate a partner from a dog they have had since before you got together. That's something you should have factored in before deciding to live together and get pregnant together. However, the dog in question sounds completely untrained and your boyfriend apparently has no idea that any of this behavior can and should be trained? And it sounds a bit like you also don't realize that you need to train the dog to listen to you. Someone else can't do that for you. So honestly, not a great house for a dog to end up in, so I'm still with you on this. Why not try and train the dog while he's living with you before the baby comes? I had to do this to my brother's dog, half German half Australian Shep. My brother hasn't trained her at all, and whilst she's been living with us she knows not what to do. I was pregnant and now I have a 4-month-old. She is good with the baby. If you don't want the dog now because you're pregnant, when would it be? You'll have the baby and then the dog will be too dangerous for the baby, next thing the toddler. Where does it end? Just train her, easy fix. Ash, you guys shouldn't have moved in together without talking about what happens to his dog or what will happen if you have a baby or an animal around a baby. You offered solutions and he didn't accept, which also plays into the Ash. But he is also not a good dog owner if you won't train him. Am I the asshole for telling an older woman that her butt is showing? My friend's 42F, and I went out to a show on Saturday and met for dinner prior to the event. Dinner was at a fancy hotel near the venue. After we arrived, an older lady, 55 plus, and a man walked in behind us and sat at the bar next to us. As soon as she turned around, we all noticed she had had a wardrobe malfunction. She was wearing a white transparent skirt, and it seemed that the lining of the skirt got stuck in her G-string, so it looked like when she pulled her undies up the lining of the skirt got caught, leaving half her ass showing under the completely see-through white skirt. We all felt awful. Another table full of women next to us saw her too, and I could see everyone commenting on it. Nobody wants to walk around with half your butt showing, so I made a mental note to try to tell the lady what's happening in case she didn't notice. On our way out after dinner, we all grabbed our coats and before heading out I went to the bathroom, where I happened to find this lady alone, so I thought it was the perfect moment to mention her skirt lining issue. I approached her in a very nice and almost apologetic way and I said, "Please don't take this wrong way, but I think the lining of your skirt got stuck, and half of your butt is showing. Not sure if this is the way your skirt is supposed to be, but I thought I should let you know." The lady immediately flipped at me. She started screaming at me saying this is the way she wears her stuff, and if it was me, I should worry about what I was wearing instead, raincoat, and then at the top of her lungs she called me a bitch. I couldn't believe her reaction, so I started laughing out loud and walked out the bathroom. When I told my friends what happened, half of them thought I shouldn't have said anything and that I ate asshole, while the other half thought I was correct in doing so. So now, am I the asshole for telling an older lady her butt is showing? Not the asshole. I would rather someone tell me my butt was showing, and if it's meant to be like that, I'd flip my hair and say, "Thanks for noticing," rather than flipping out like that. She's one crazy lady. Pretty sure that's now how she wears that skirt. She was just embarrassed and took it out on you. The minute you left the bathroom she probably checked to make sure the lining wasn't in her undies. You did the right thing, emo. I would want someone to tell me. This is why I tell people when they have stuff in their teeth or a bat in the cave. Not the asshole. No good deed goes unpunished. You did the right thing and that lady is nuts. Don't let this stop you from being a good person though. Not the asshole, but I think the preface of "don't take this the wrong way," followed by "half your butt is showing," could sound judgmental, but none of us were there to know how it came off obviously. I think by trying to say it nicely and soften the approach maybe it came out wrong, and in the future you could just be more direct and say, "Hey, the lining of your skirt is caught," and that's it. Most women would know exactly what you mean and how to fix it without feeling embarrassed realizing the extent of their malfunction. But some grown-ass women just pop off when they're embarrassed, which is not your problem and you shouldn't have to deal with that. Wow, you are absolutely not the asshole. You did a kind and thoughtful thing. If she likes having her ass hang out, that's on her. Most of us would not want that. Her reaction was rude and uncalled for. Kudos to you for being brave enough to tell her and for laughing at her when she overreacted so terribly. Not the asshole. Miss Manners tells us that you should tell us if it's something we can fix, like a skirt lining in the wrong place or spinach in the teeth. Lady was no lady, so sorry on behalf of old broads everywhere. Am I the asshole for refusing to leave work to help my family? I, 26F, Have a job that is fully remote, which I am very thankful for. Last year my fiancé and I bought a house 5 minutes from our families. For context, my sister, 31F, lives at home with my parents and is in and out of jobs at a rapid pace. My parents, 69F and 72M, are retired and their only income is SSI. My sister is a single mom of 2 kids and one of the kids is possibly autistic. They are waiting on an evaluation to confirm. My sister is currently out of a job and fights with my father often. I try to help out where I can, like occasionally picking one of the kids up from school, coming over on the weekend, etc. There was a time where I was almost acting as a second parent with how much I was helping, but my fiancé has helped me to recognize what is a normal family dynamic and try to stick to that. When I help out during the week, it's after my assigned work is finished and I can make up time if I leave or count it as my lunch. 30 minutes, I try to only help out during the week if it is something that time away can be estimated, so if it is over the time of lunch I can tell my manager and make up the time. I just got a call immediately asking for me to come over 15 minutes into my shift. There is fighting and the baby is not cooperating. I advised that I couldn't, I'm at work, and was yelled at and then hung up on. Where I may be I called back and left a voicemail explaining my job is serious and if I am not showing up to my job I have grounds for termination. If I'm termed I don't have money to give and then they will be fucked. I said I'm not sure where you got the notion that I can always leave, but I can't bend over at God's will. Am I the asshole for refusing and doubling down? ETA. I am appreciative of the kind comments. The only thing I ask is please stop telling me to move. I am in a mortgage that we got last year and do not have thousands of dollars to provide in closing costs, let alone enough equity in the house or savings to buy another house. Things aren't that simple. We also have great tax benefits where we are, so it's unlikely we will leave. My doors are always locked and we have security cameras. While I am thankful for the support, it is a bit frustrating to be told I made the biggest mistake choosing where I live multiple times. I did not move here just for them. My fiancé and I made a joint decision to live here based on the benefits it provides. We did discuss living near my family and the implications it would bring. They have not shown up out of the blue because they are too lazy to put the kids into the car. I would call the police if they showed up. Not the asshole. You need to work to pay your own bills and help out with theirs. They should understand that. If possible, you need to have stronger boundaries to protect yourself from the bottomless pit of these financial and emotional vampires. Moving 5 minutes away was a big mistake. Enforce your rules and block their phones during working hours. NTA. Only when someone is safe and secure might they think about helping others, or don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. I would step back even further. Her kids, her problems aren't yours. She needs to learn to stop having them if she can't handle them herself. If it was helping the parents live, then fair enough, but not your sister and her kids that she chose to have. She is very entitled and you are enabling that behavior, not helping her, sorry to say, plus making a rod for your own back. You're being very kind and helpful but not doing yourself any favors in the long run, as when you stop she snaps at you, biting the hand that feeds her. This attitude is possibly why your sister can't keep a job. Don't be like your sister. Not the asshole. The baby is not cooperating? That's not an issue for you. That's a parenting issue that the parent needs to resolve.